be great. I will send you a follow-up after this just to kind of like make that introduction, and then we'll go from there.
And then the only other thing we were curious about was the little mini, well, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, I'll actually be sending out more information on that probably the next week.
One more question, Jared. How long between like right now when we start and the breakout?
It will not be super long, probably like 10-ish.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out if I had time to switch over to this one.
You probably have some time to switch over, as long as you've got all of your documents opened. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Are you in Raleigh right now, or are you down in Atlanta?
I'm down in Atlanta today.
Well, we might be getting some snow tonight here.
I know. I heard. I saw that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, it's not supposed to be a lot if it's anything. I mean, you know how it is. It's like, I feel like at least 60% of the time when they say there's going to be snow, there's really not any.
Yeah.
But they were saying like maybe an inch.
Okay.
Which to me is perfect because it's enough to like look pretty and then be gone in a couple of hours.
Right.
Well, if you're working from home, it's like now's the time that you want the snow to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome. Sure, I'm there.
Jared, every time you work from whatever room you're in, I love that ceiling light. So I would like you to bequeath that to me.
Let me tell you, that ceiling light when we moved into this house was here, and it gave us like there's a fan, an oscillating fan inside of it. And the homeowner had taken the remote, but they don't sell a spare remote like at all. So it was the middle of summer and the fan was not on. And so we were like, I was calling the company, all of these things, and they were like, no, that was like one of the pitfalls was we don't make a spare remote. And so one night at 11 at night, the previous homeowner came to my door and knocked on it and dropped the remote off. I didn't answer the door because I was like asleep.
Yeah, who's coming by at 11 o'clock at night to?
Yeah, but it's a great light fixture and fan.
Well, it doesn't from here. It looks like a retro light fixture, like from the 60s.
Yeah,
so you can't tell that it has a fan in it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Go ahead. Is your project finished? Your house finished?
Oh, well, you know, houses will never be finished, but I have a kitchen and I have a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. All of the construction work that we were having done, that is all done. Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So Inga, you're based out of Atlanta, is that right?
Yes, but have a presence there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was living down there for a few years.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah, just like this time last year, I moved to Durham. But
Okay. Wow.
It was a big year for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys saved the country. Maybe.
Marla was born here.
Yes, I'm a native Atlantan. You don't find many of us.
That's right.
My son was born there.
What part of Atlanta did you live in, Eric?
I was in Chamblee.
Ah, love Chamblee. We lived there during the high school years for my daughter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I lived in Atlanta for 7 years.
Yes.
Okay.
After grad school.
And Marla, Chris worked with David Haynes, our project.
Okay.
Yep, at ARC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Regional Commission, is that Atlanta Regional?
Yep,
Cool.
That's right. That was my first job after grad school.
Awesome. Was Doug there then?
I don't
Doug
remember
Holcroft?
Doug.
When did Doug Hooker join, Inga? Do you know?
It's been, I don't know, probably about 8 years or so.
He's director, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Eric, were you working in the industry at the time?
I was at the National Park Service,
Oh,
actually,
okay. Yeah.
the Chattahoochee River.
Right. Right.
But we met folks from ARC and all the different
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
folks working on the Riverlands project.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, where were you based out of for that? I'm from Atlanta as well, and
Oh.
interned with the park when I was in high school.
Oh, wow. The headquarters in my office was up in Sandy Springs.
Yep, that's where I'm from.
Which is why I lived in Chamblee, because the commute would be tough from downtown Atlanta.
Well, they've just completed a big study and plan for the Chattahoochee River for kind of a corridor.
His project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was involved in that as kind of the Park Service rep. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a big project.
It is.
Sarah, I grew up in Sandy Springs also.
So being a native Atlantan is not that unusual, at least in the Southeast.
Apparently not in this line of work, huh?
I think it's probably being a native Atlantan and still living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's a rare thing.
I grew up at Chastain Park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was out there last Sunday.
I'm within the city limits.
Yeah.
So I have that on all of you.
It's probably the case with a lot of big cities, though. I mean, I grew up in the DC area, and my close friends from college are really the only ones I know that were born and raised there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put it back together, it's gonna go.
Good, okay. Looks like we've got folks here joining.
With the rest of the bill.
Chris, I was going to give it a minute or two more.
Yeah.
Happy 2021, everyone.
Amen.
Well, it looks like we have about 30 people joined. So Jared, do you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, well, I'll just start with welcome everybody. I know it's been since this last fall since we had our last meeting. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. We've reached an exciting point in this project where we're getting ready to kick off our second round of public outreach. I'm excited about that. I hope you all are too. And with that, I will turn it over to Jared.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, welcome back, everyone. It's been a little while since we've seen all of you. And so first of all, thanks for taking some time this afternoon. We really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let's see here. All right, can everyone see that slide?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Well, as we get a few more people that are going to be joining us, I figure we would start by welcoming everyone. The kind of our agenda for today is starting with welcome back. You've been a part of this for over a year now, and so we've got work to show you, but you're not finished yet. And so we look forward to your continued engagement. We're going to start today just to kind of get things rolling and have some conversation with a little bit of a game. I'm going to break us into groups here shortly. But before that, we'll talk through the agenda after we come back from our game. One of our big next steps is developing some recommendations. And so we don't want just recommendations, but we want prioritized recommendations and how to start and where to go next. So we're going to talk through some of the criteria with all of you in a little bit more detail than we did in our previous meeting. We're also going to talk about the public input survey that is going to be live for all of you today. After this meeting, we'll be sending out some information as well as the next steps. And so quick review is just last time we spoke was in September. Hard to believe that was multiple months ago. Either time flies or it's going really slow. It depends on, I guess, the day. But at that meeting, we talked through some of the project schedule. We looked at our existing conditions as well as reviewed ultimately the summary of what we had received in the public input. And that was really kind of the first opportunity for public input. We discussed the trail classifications and got some really good feedback from all of you. And then I would say kind of introduced prioritization. We're going to talk about that in more detail today and going to ask all of you for more feedback as well. But as we kind of get started, and I mentioned, we're going to play a game called Name That Greenway. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ashley and break you into some groups. She's going to explain some of the rules and then we'll get going.
All right, awesome. So as Jared just said, we're going to start with a fun trivia game. You'll be broken into groups and teams, and each team will be put into a breakout room with a facilitator. So in your breakout room, your facilitator will lead your team through Greenway trivia. You'll be shown a picture of a trail and given about 30 seconds as a team to collaborate and propose an answer. So like most trivia games, you can only put forward one answer. Again, you'll have about 30 seconds to do this. And after that, your facilitator will share what the correct answer is and lead you through a discussion on recommendations that you think could make that trail even better. There will be 5 rounds of the trail trivia, so don't exhaust yourselves on the first few. Marathon, not a sprint. Jared's gonna be keeping all of the facilitators on track. He'll be sending messages to the breakout groups to make sure that we're all able to get through all 5 rounds. And just a few reminders for our facilitators. If you're wondering if you're a facilitator, you're probably not one. You know who you are. You'll be entering your group's guests for each trail into the spreadsheet that we've sent you already. If you don't have access to it or are having challenges with that, let us know. Remember to record your session when you get in and to take notes during the discussion. And also pay attention to the banner at the top of the screen where Jared's nudges to continue and move to the next slide will show up. Jared, how you doing?
Almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there. Hold on one second.
All right. So there, like I said before, there are 5 rounds. So that means there'll be 5 different Greenway photos, and we'll be really curious to see which ones kind of can be more difficult for folks. So when we all return from our breakout sessions, we'll do a quick review, and Jared will give us some of the stats from everyone's groups.
Okay. We're getting there. Sorry, everyone. People are joining.
Oh yeah, we've got some. It can be a challenge to get all the breakout groups sorted out right away. This gives you time though to think, what are all of the possible Greenway trails in the city system? There's quite a few. Lots of potential.
All right, we're ready. here we go. I'm going to send all of you. Remember, record your sessions for the breakout group leaders. We will see you shortly.
Hey, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How's everyone doing?
Good, good.
Good. Can you share? Can everyone see the screen that I'm sharing? It says "Name That Greenway" trivia.
Yes.
Yep.
Great. All right. So I'm Eric. Unfortunately, we don't have like a lot of time to get to know each other, but we'll go ahead and jump into this little trivia. So the first trail, obviously, it's just an image of a greenway in Raleigh. Any guesses?
There are no additional reference points, just the image?
Just the image, yeah.
Yep. Some of these are going to be easier than others, and I think this is probably one of the hardest ones.
And if you can't name it, you can also, another kind of follow-up question is going to be sort of what would be some improvements you would make on this trail? So we can start thinking about that.
Is it near Crabtree Trail by the Kiwanis Park? Nope.
Graham, do you know the answer to
I do not know the answer to that. I don't think so.
No, I didn't think so either, but what's on the right there? Is that some kind of 4-story building on the right?
Looks like there's some apartments in the area on both sides.
Could it be Birch Ridge Connector?
Which one was that?
I'm just guessing. So it's like a sidewalk trail. So maybe it's one of those ones that are in the neighborhood, like Birch Ridge.
Birch Ridge?
Yeah.
I
have no clue.
Okay. We're gonna, it's the Little Rock Trail.
Okay.
Has anyone been to that trail?
No.
Okay. It's funny because I'm facilitating this and I'm not familiar with all the trails. I live in Durham. But I think this kind of the question to go with this, what would make this trail better, is probably more important than guessing everything. So based on the image that we saw, is there anything that kind of stands out to you that you think that could improve the trail?
Can we go back to the picture?
Yeah, I was just about to do that.
Oh. There we go.
It looks like there might be some maintenance issues with the trail surface.
Okay.
And this may be there and you can't see it, but some signage to connect it to the actual greenway.
You're saying it could use some signage?
Yeah, like if this connects two parts of Greenway, for instance, maybe some, and it may be there, just not visible in the picture.
Yeah, sure. That's good.
I would say it does look like a standard sidewalk, and if we're going for greenways, increase the width to the width of a greenway. It looks like that might be 5 foot, but I would say expand it to 10 foot if that's a greenway.
Yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Yeah, it looks a lot more like a sidewalk. I agree. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So for a little context, this connects Chavis Park in downtown to Walnut Creek Wetland Center. That's where that trail is. Okay, trail number 2.
Is this a part of the the Neuse River Greenway that goes along the road at a certain point?
Graham, do you know?
I don't believe that this one is, no. Not, or it is, I mean, it's not part of the Neuse River Greenway, no. It is following the route, obviously, but different section of town.
This looks a little bit like where the Raleigh Trail connects to the Cary one. I don't remember the name though. I do remember running past the stretch of road though.
Yeah, I think you're pretty close there.
So it looks like a connector trail. Any guesses on the name of it?
Got me.
It's a tricky trivia.
Yeah, I think Jared literally went out and took a bunch of pictures of different trails around town. And that's the trivia.
While he was sitting in his car.
Maybe.
So this is the Edwards Mill connector.
Yeah, I thought that was it, because I think if you look down the road there, you see Wade crossing Edwards Mill.
So I'll go back to the picture. What would you do to improve this trail? Or, same question as the other one. Is there anything you do or don't like about the trail from the image?
Oh, the same comment as the previous one. It looks like a sidewalk. This one doesn't even have trees.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a side path or, a multi-use path.
Yeah, trees would be real nice, because I know I've been riding out here and there is no shade. So it gets pretty hot pretty quick.
Yeah, a lot of traffic too, I'm sure. The fact that none of us know what these trails are might leads you to think.
I think it's hard to, unless you're taking pictures of the trails and potentially at a place where there are like landmarks.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe it was just taking pictures of certain aspects of where we could obviously make some improvements was the point behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this image could be from any city,
Right.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, it's more important to kind of focus on characteristics of the trail or things that, stand out to us from the image that we could make his recommendations or improvements. Okay. Trail number 3. Does this look familiar to anyone?
This looks like it's off the Neuse River one. I forget where it is, but it's sort of further south. It goes in. I've walked this one, I think, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, that white fence is like either Neuse River or there's parts of it by like Meredith. Only two that pop up for me, but I never know the names of these things.
Could it be the Rocky Branch one? Maybe. Because the Rocky Branch one, I think, is close to Meredith, isn't it?
What do you guys think? Well, we have to kind of come up with one answer as a team. So, and I know it's hard to remember the names of all these trails, but should we put down Rocky Branch maybe?
Sure.
I guess.
We're not going to be penalized. It's the Reedy Creek Trail, which also connects to the Rocky Branch Trail, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
So going back to the image.
So that might be right, because it said it went by Meredith College. Isn't that what you suggested?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I think we got that one right.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree. Anything kind of stand out to you guys on this trail that you would want to make as an improvement or, suggestion?
The same as the other ones.
Yeah. There's a kind of lack of signage, at least from this image. Hard to know where you are.
I mean, no one said this, but I'm a huge proponent of this and this is just from lived experience. Where I used to live before I came to North Carolina, it's just center stripes. I think it helps with the traffic patterns, a little bit of safety as well, developing some culture about, that adds with signage, of course, in which direction you're going, what side you need to be on. But I just wanted to I know maybe there's one of those things that's already out there, but based on the width of the trail, that center stripes always kind of helps to dictate traffic direction and safety.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially as the trails get wider, like this one, it gives you an opportunity to kind of manage traffic a little bit better on the trail. It's interesting how all the images we've seen of trails look a lot different, like the type of trail and the width and the it's not really consistent across the system, which is not unnormal or abnormal in most cities.
Variety is the spice of life, right?
Sure. There's that too.
This is Sally. Sorry, I got dropped off and now I'm back on and just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, Sally. No problem. I think we can all relate to internet.
Well, we like the picture you're using. That's a Greenway that we might recognize.
That's right. Thank you. Well, full transparency, I've got a sick little dude right here, so I've got him on.
Oh, okay.
He's not feeling good today, but he's just chilling.
Okay.
It's nice to see everyone. So did we finish the challenge?
There's 2 more trails to look at. So this is the 4th image. Does that look familiar to anyone?
Is it the Crabtree Trail down there or Walnut? It might be the Walnut Creek Trail.
I was gonna say Crabtree. This looks like the link between by the mall and Shelley Lake. Like if you run from there to Shelley Lake, there's a stretch that looks just like this.
It definitely looks to be near a creek.
They
Do you guys have is there consensus on which of the two trails the group thinks?
I'll vote for the Crabtree because I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think I know this one.
I think Crabtree is mostly wooded area, I think. So this looks more like the Walnut Creek Trail to me, which has the open area south of Centennial Campus. But who knows? I don't know. It's got the bird feeder there, or the birdhouse.
Well, let's see what the answer is. Walnut Creek.
Oh.
Well done. Yeah, it doesn't say specifically where on Walnut Creek the image was taken, but I know we're all familiar with that trail. What about the Walnut Creek Trail? What improvements would you make to make that one better?
That's a terrific trail. It's really great.
Yeah, it is.
There's stretches of it. I guess it's not in the photo, but I also really like that trail. But there's stretches of it where when it disconnects, you just run into a street and you're not really sure which way to go to catch the remainder of it. I'm thinking of the one particularly like from Centennial, when you get downtown like Wilmington, it cuts off, and I never know whether to go left or right or straight or where to catch it. So I guess signage for the connectors.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It can be confusing.
Yeah, and there's also that stretch down there that's like 5 foot wide and boardwalk, except the boardwalk's like buried, and yeah, there's definitely some sections that need to be improved.
This is a major drainage as well, so there can just be a ton of really kind of gross trash and bottles and like plastic bottles and stuff that'll accumulate. So that continues to be a maintenance challenge.
Yeah.
This picture shows a garbage pail, and when I walked this walk before, we were picking up garbage and we couldn't find any garbage pails. So I don't know what the frequency of garbage pails is supposed to be on these greenways, and I understand that someone has to come and pick them up, but that could be always something that could be commented on.
Yeah, having the pails there and people putting their trash in the pails are two different things, right?
Right. You know, I don't actually know that. I'm not sure that we have a specific formula for how many per mile or section, but we did, with the increase in use after COVID or during COVID now, we have doubled our trash run. So we were just we're emptying all the cans once a week, and now we're doing it twice a week. And we still have some sections where we get overflowing cans. So it's, I think, part of the consideration of this master plan exercise.
There's stretches of it that flood too, quite a bit. And in addition to just the flooding itself, but in the summer, the pileup of mosquitoes, the noose is like that too. When the sections of that thing that flood, the bugs can be bugs and backed up sewage along that Walnut can be a problem in the summer after heavy rains.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, that's all good points. I was just taking a few notes. Let's move on to our last trail or image.
That looks like it's near the Moorhead School for the Blind. I'm not sure what that greenway is. And that would be Western Boulevard on the side, right?
Yep, that's nailed that one. That's Western Boulevard going east. That's a sneaky little hill over there too. That one always gets me. It doesn't look like much of a hill, but I'm always tired when I get to the top. Yep, that's leaving state going downtown.
What's the name of that trail? So it's along Western Boulevard?
That's Rocky Branch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's Rocky Branch.
That's what I was gonna say.
Walnut and Rocky Branch kind of split right there before you get to Dix. Rocky Branch continues up to State.
So those of us that are...
We know that Jared made these pictures from his car. He didn't go on any hikes.
Yeah. Any feedback about this particular trail?
Isn't there a trail on the other side that goes through the woods on the other side of the road? I think there is. This one looks really barren.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one comes down and it ends in Boylan Heights. And I think technically the one on the other side of the road is the Rocky Branch Trail, but this one is, I consider it part of the Rocky Branch because this one is the one that actually goes through State. You've got to cross Western at some point, so.
Well, I think a land bridge from Dix Park would make this a better experience.
Yeah. I saw some of those images about the land bridge, and it would be pretty cool if it ever happened.
Cool. Well, I think we got all the sort of comments from the 5 images. We'll be getting back to the larger group here in a second, but anything else folks want to share about these particular trails? You guys having fun yet?
Yeah, it's all good. All right. Great to be in a group with everybody. See you back at the big table.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So is everyone on this group, do folks get out and bike all these? Have you guys been on all of these trails?
No.
No? I haven't either. But it makes me want to get out a little bit more.
Right.
It's an interesting question about the trash receptacles. I hadn't thought about. I don't know if there is a formula for how often they should be set. I guess it depends on the amount of trail users and if there's a big park nearby, or I'm sure they just make the decision based on, experience with a lot of littering or, trash being collected. All right.
Yeah, I think Jared's going to suck us back into the meeting here. Thanks for leading, Eric.
Yeah, of course, the one of the two things I was supposed to do, I forgot halfway through the record part of it, but I got the second half of it recorded.
Okay, I've got the whole thing.
Cool, good. I knew I could count on you. I like all the flags in the background there. Yeah, Brazil. Is that Nigeria? What else do you have?
That's Jamaica.
Jamaica. I can only see half of the flags. Cool. It's been tough not being able to travel lately, huh?
Yep. Yeah. We have family in the Caribbean, so it's been particularly hard.
Yeah, I bet. It's a nice time of year to get to the Caribbean. Cool. Well, it looks like we're wrapping up here. So thanks for allowing me to get you guys through the trivia.
Where that Walnut Creek photo was taken, Jared.
Yeah, for sure. That that photo was taken right near the wetland center. If you look closely, you can actually see kind of the slanted roof of the wetland center, so it's looking back at it. The bird houses are always what like trigger my mind, that like there's so many bird houses right next to that area. So it was great. Perfect. I think it looks like we've got everybody back. I'll ask all the facilitators, you can stop your recording since I'm recording the larger meeting, and I will jump back in to sharing